Let me get unmuted. Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for coming in this evening. It's 5 o'clock, unscheduled. I'm going to try my best to see if I can commit to doing something like this on a weekly basis, whether it be, topics as it pertains to, financial matters. On today, we're going to talk about credit on today. And if y'all rock with me, I'm going to share quite a bit with you. I'm also going to take some questions from you guys. So please just drop in the chat. Now, I know my audience probably is going to be a little small simply because I'm just starting to do this. So I'll get surprised if a great number of you end up watching. But this is something that I have a heart for. I have a burden to do it. I am a part of this industry. That's one of the things about the credit industry is it has a stigma attached to it to where it's really frowned upon. And some people think that, if you're in credit repair, you're trying to rip your creditors off, so on and so forth, which I'm going to actually address that. I think I'm going to lead with that. So why don't y'all help me out today, guys? Encourage me, one, by dropping in the chat. I see you, Lynette Duran. Thank you so much for being with us on this afternoon. I'm on 3 platforms. I should be on YouTube. And I'm on 2 of my Facebook channels. And so please, guys, just drop in the chat. Let me know who you are, just to let you know what you're in for today, just what the tag says, Credit Repair Secrets Exposed. I'm actually going to be sharing some secrets about the industry. I'm going to kind of be sharing with you guys how to do credit repair on your own, how to kind of give you some free self-help tools. Just to give you a little bit about me, I do my best to give as much information as away as I possibly can, because at the end of the day, I feel I just have this crazy idea that if you see how difficult and how hard it is to reclaim your name, you probably are more likely to make better sound choices as it pertains to your financial decisions in the future. So you're less likely to overextend yourself on those credit cards and things of that nature, or go late on some things when you find out how difficult it is to remove that late payment or get rid of that collection account that's on your credit report. So on today, I'm going to spend probably 45 minutes with you all today. Once again, I'm going to just give you an overview of credit repair. Yes, I'll share you guys what I do, but this is not a discussion for me to tell you how awesome and how amazing I am in the industry. It's really designed to just expose some secrets of the industry and show you how you can repair your credit on your own. I'm really in business for those who just don't have the time. That's the only reason why I'm in business. As a matter of fact, my partner and I, we're getting ready to graduate a group of people. We're getting ready to graduate about 100 people from our program. And I'm so excited about that. So if you hang with me until the end, there's going to be a special offer that I'm going to be sharing with you guys on today. Let me just formally introduce myself. I am Pastor Kim. That's the brand name that I go under. However, I am also a founding partner of Phoenix Advisors Corp that is based here out of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, particularly in the city of Plano, Texas. And it's there that I help people with less than perfect credit improve their credit score. And what we try to do is really do our best to push hard towards the goal of giving them some strong results in about 90 days or so. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit, but I'm not really here to talk about our credit program and all of that. I want to talk about some credit repair secrets and share some things with you that you can actually put into motion, put into action like right now. As a matter of fact, I'm going to reveal to you guys one of the letters that I've used over time that has really helped a lot of people that I've helped in the past. Okay. Now I am a support of ethical, legal, compliant credit repair. I'm not here to tell you how to rip your creditors off. And let me just speak to that for just a moment. I believe that the scripture says that we ought to pay what we owe. Your name is important. I'm not here to turn this into a sermon, but you got to understand that you're only as good as your name written on a piece of paper. So you got to mature to a place will you start bringing value to your signature? Does your signature carry any weight? It's one of the things that I talk to this group of men that I disciple is the value of your signature. Your signature should carry some weight. And so if your person, now this is in no way to make you feel bad about your current financial position. If I can just testify for just a moment, listen, I am one. I'm the product of a person who did not get all of the information that I needed as it pertains to the importance of budgeting, understanding credit, what a credit score was, what a collection account was, what a credit card was. And so I created my own blueprint in my teenage years, even into my 20s, and it hurt me in the long run. Now, I'm glad to say that I'm not there anymore, but the truth is that's a lot of people's come from. We were not raised in the context or in a situation where we were explained the nuances of credit. So we was just swiping, not understanding what we were committing ourselves to. And so then when it was too late, there's a late payment, there's a charge off, there's a medical debt. So many things have taken place. And so please understand, I have been there. I had to file bankruptcy. I've had a repossession. I've been there, but let me tell you something. I have also been redeemed. Yes, I've been redeemed through the purchased blood of Jesus Christ, but I've also been redeemed in the financial industry. There are things that we took a hold of and we decided to turn the ship around and make better financial decisions. But the truth is, some of us, if you are like me, there are collection accounts, there are creditors that are just lurking on your credit report. You just can't get rid of it. It's like a bad infestation of ants or whatever the case may be that you can't get rid of. And so the objective here today is to just give you some clarity, give you a little bit of understanding on the things that you can do to improve your personal credit rating. All right. And so let's kind of talk about that. So if you have any questions, just drop them in the chat and I'll do my best to get to your questions. But as you know, once again, I'm here to expose some secrets about the industry. The first thing that I want to address is to highlight the fact that credit repair is not illegal. Let me say that again. It is not illegal. There are over 300 laws that are in place for us as consumers. And believe it or not, most of the information that is reporting on your credit report does not fall in alignment with those regulations that are in place. I know some folk are out there suggesting that, oh, it's illegal for us to do credit repair. That is so far from the truth. Now, please understand, I'm not an attorney, and there are certain regulations that are in place depending on the state. So credit repair is not illegal. What could be illegal depending upon the state is hiring a credit repair agency to facilitate those services for you. Let me just highlight one state in the U.S. called Atlanta, Georgia, or the state of Georgia. It is actually illegal. It is in law that you should not, there should not be any kind of credit repair agency in place providing the services of credit repair. Now, that is not a suggestion that you cannot repair your credit. What they are arguing is they've seen so many complaints about the abuse of the system and the abuse of the industry, where altogether they have just labeled it illegal. And so they are just, put some stiff rules in place as it pertains to that. But what you can do is arm yourself with information. All right. I see there's a question that came in from Lynette Duran. She says, is there anything you can do when it goes to court? I have tried to settle payment arrangements, but they will not agree to do anything. Unfortunately, you are in a situation where a lot of people have been involved in. It's where the information has gone to court. And what happens is they count on us not coming to court. And what they end up getting is a default judgment. So depending upon the case or depending upon the state and what your state laws are, you may or may not be able to get rid of that debt because it has actually been put into place where a judge may have already signed off on the approval of that particular debt. But here's some things you can do You may not be able to get it off the court docket. You may not be able to get it out of public records, but you may be able to remove it from your actual credit profile. Because believe it or not, even in how they report information, one of the things you want to know as it pertains when something goes to court or when it becomes public information or when they've actually won or have been awarded to collect on the debt is courts do not report to credit reporting agencies. I want you to write that down. Courts do not report to credit reporting agencies. What typically happens is a smaller agency like LexisNexis, who typically collects information from court systems, and they collect data like bankruptcy, public records, tax liens, and things of that nature. They collect that information, and then what happens is they form an agreement or a partnership with the three major credit reporting agencies, which happen to be in the state of in the U.S., which happens to be Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. Now, depending upon what region you're in, there is a fourth bureau that is a public bureau that doesn't come to mind at this precise moment, but there is another bureau that's out there that's in a different region where most people tend to have their credit pulled from that particular region. But what you want to understand when it comes to public information, it is not actually being reported directly from the courts. It's actually being reported, or information is being sold from a third party source, namely LexisNexis. But what you can do in that particular situation is you want to challenge the reporting process. You want to challenge the collection process. You may even want to challenge if you notice that on one bureau, the balance is off. It may be 10 cents off, 1 cent off, or the dates are not correct, or whatever the case may be. If the information is not accurate in its reporting, it doesn't matter whether or not they have been awarded the debt. If it's not reported accurately by law and legally, it has to be removed. Now, what I have to tell you is, although you get the information removed from your credit report, it does not alter or change your obligation to the debt. And this is where most people get confused when they're thinking about credit repair. They think they can hire someone who's just going to wipe away their debt. Many people, you'll be amazed at the conversations I have with people who may deal with student loan debt. And what I'd like to say is, many times when we're dealing with the government entities like Navient and Sallie Mae, many times they are following those reporting rules. However, there are one-off moments where you find this not so known student loan agency reporting information and violating all kind of reporting laws. But here's what you have to be aware of. Now, our agency has been successful in removing student loan debt. But what I like to do is I tell people, listen, just because the debt has been deleted off the credit report, it does not alter your obligation to the debt. And particularly because it's government debt, the only way you get rid of government debt is through ceasing to exist. And so if you're trying to hang around a little bit longer like myself, then you're trying to do all that you can to try to pay that debt off. But what you can do is you want to definitely avoid going late on that student loan debt, because it can impact you qualifying for a home or anything like that. And here's the other thing with student loan debt that you want to keep in mind. Although you get it deleted off the credit report, when you go to apply for a home loan, they're going to factor that debt into your DTI. And I know in Texas per se, so everything that I share with you guys is going to be based on the Texas laws that I am familiar with. So please don't take any of this information as legal advice. I encourage you to get with counsel so that you understand what the laws and regs are pertaining to your state. But in the state of Texas, when someone tries to apply for a government mortgage, they have to, or any mortgage for that matter, they have to understand that whatever the student loan balance is, they're going to multiply that by 1%, divide it up over 12 months, and then make that count against your DTI. So although you may be able to get those student loan debts removed, please be aware of the fact that when you go apply for that mortgage application or apply for that mortgage loan, it's going to show up on a different report that's not even your credit report, that no consumer has access to, and only those private entities who extend credit, and they'll be able to provide details as it pertains to whether or not you're going to be able to have that debt counted against you. So you just want to be aware of that. But that is a very, very good question, Ms. Lynette, as it pertains to debt that goes to court. Here's another popular practice that you need to be aware of, and I mentioned this in one of the ads that I'm running at this precise moment. It is that you want to avoid paying collection accounts. I'm giving some secrets today, so I hope those of you who need this service and those of you who need this information, I hope you're taking good notes. You want to avoid paying on collection accounts. All right, so I have the time to share with you. I couldn't give it to you in the ad because you only got a couple of minutes, so on and so forth, and then you want to kind of direct the people to go. Now I do want to give the plug that I am doing a free training webinar on how to repair your credit. And I'll drop the link for you all to be able to watch the webinar. It's absolutely free. You don't have to pay anything, no credit card information needed. And it shares with you the various nuances of credit. So I'm not really here to give the basis or the basic or elementary points of credit and understanding credit and the 5 points of credit and all of that. You can Google that. My objective this afternoon is to expose the secrets to the industry so that you can at least start today by improving your personal credit profile. So let's talk about collection accounts that may be on your credit report. The way you deal with the collection account, number one, is you want to avoid paying a collection account. I know you're making better financial decisions at this point, and you live by the creed, pay who you owe. But what you want to do is avoid paying the collection account. And here's why. What happens is, let's just take a large bank like Chase Bank. And let's say you got a $5,000 credit card with Chase Bank. And Chase Bank has done everything they can do to hunt you down about the payment. Maybe you found yourself like the majority of Americans are we just dealt with a worldwide pandemic and folk just ended up losing jobs and losing income, so on and so forth. So people had to make the decision of whether paying their bills or making sure that food is on the table. Let's just be truthful. And so the truth is, a lot of people are going to be in a phase in their life where they're going to have to kind of deal with this less than perfect credit situation. And so let's say you owe Chase Bank $5,000, okay? And you did everything that you can to pay it, but you just had to choose that you just had to let it go. It's not anything that you're proud of. It's just a tough decision that you've had to make. The question is, how do you move forward? So when you filled out the application, usually what happens is they ask you for basic financial information, date of birth, last known address, so on and so forth, all of the basic stuff to determine whether or not you're approved. Now, let's say Chase Bank can't collect the money. That interest is, of course, accruing, and what was $5,000 may have now turned into $6,500 credit card balance. And so what happens is Chase gets to the end of the year, and Chase decides, well, I've been trying to get Susie Smith to pay us. She's been avoiding us. We've sent mail. We've tried to offer settlements, so on and so forth. And so what we're going to do is, because we want to find a way to minimize, watch this, our tax liability. We want to find a way to minimize our tax liability. And here's the thing, that's a smart thing to do. Trust me, I have overdue invoices from people who owe us. Trust me that when we file those taxes, we're going to be writing that debt off because it minimizes the bottom line and it minimizes your tax liability. Please understand that creditors do this. And so in an effort to minimize their tax liability, they remember that Susie Smith owed them $6,500. So what they tell the IRS or the Internal Revenue Service is, tell you what, we're going to release Susie Smith from this debt, and we're willing to consider this debt a donation, and we're going to write it off. And what happens, and the way you know a debt has been written off, is that there is a particular line on your credit bureau. Watch this, because it has to do with how something is reported. It must say that the debt has been written off. Anytime a debt has been written off, it is a debt now that is illegal for them to collect on. Did you hear what I just said? Why is it illegal for them to collect on it? It is because they have now received a tax benefit for that particular debt. So it's no longer a debt that you owe. Now, here's the thing. There are some tax liabilities because now you're going to be issued a 1099-C. All right. Now, if you've moved, you may not have gotten that 1099-C. So what you can do is find out through the IRS if there's any 1099-Cs hanging out there with your name on it. No need to panic, because here's the thing. You can actually have your tax professional file an insolvent document that actually waives the tax liability. Why do you want to do that? Is so that you can accept that donation. Did you catch what I just said? They are waiving the debt. And what happens is when you have that document now becomes legal proof that is now illegal for me to, it is illegal for anyone to collect on this debt. Now, let me show you how low down some banks and lenders and creditors and collection agencies will be. What they will then do is Chase Bank, they've taken the tax benefit. They're happy. They've minimized their tax liability. But what they're going to do is they're going to get greedy. That's just the truth of the financial industry. That's what we've dealt with in Western culture. It is the God of mammon. It's all about the money, all about how much I can get for myself, consume, save. And so what happens is they are now willing to walk on the line now of where they are moving into an illegal practice of collecting on the debt. But here's the thing. They're going to get slick with you. They're not going to be the one to try to collect on the debt. What they're going to do is they're going to find a little small collection agency who's hungry, who uses illegal practices and unethical practices to collect on the debt. It doesn't really matter to them. So what's going to happen is this collection agency is going to call up Chase and say, hey, I want all of your accounts that are in default. All of your accounts that are in default. And what we will do is we'll give you 20 cents on the dollar. So that $6,500 debt has now been sold for maybe $500 or whatever the number may come up to be, $500 or $600, right? And so now what has happened is not only did Chase Bank just get a tax benefit, but they found a sucker credit collection company to actually give them money on that debt. And so what actually happens is when they sell the debt over, what they are not giving to this collection agency is things like your social security number, things like the original contract, things like statements with your signature on it, things of that nature. Watch this, because they likely have that information in the archives, is outdated, so on and so forth, to protect space on their servers. That information is just, automatically deleted. So they're just selling basic information and then leave it up to the collection agency to figure out that information. And here's how you need to be empowered as a consumer. So what will happen is Joe Blue Collection Agency will call you up and say, hey, may I speak with Susie Smith? And then Susie Smith said, this is Susie Smith. And then what they're going to do is says, listen, this is an attempt to collect the debt. Any information used will be used against you, so on and so forth, whatever the phrase is. Then they're going to say, hey, can you help us? Because we don't like to share your personal information. Can you verify your date of birth? Can you verify your address? Can you verify your full social security number? What you're doing at this moment is you're actually volunteering information that they never had, which is why you should never, hear me say this, you should never provide your personal information to collection agencies over the phone, because you're giving them information they never had. Chase leaves it up to them. And we're just using Chase as an example if you're just watching. So we're just using the original bank as an example of what happens when the information is sold, and they leave it up to them to get as much information, which happens through public records, through LexisNexis, through skip tracing and things of that nature. So when they call you, they sow the seed of fear, and then now you're giving them information that they never had in the first place. Once again, if you remember, I told you that Chase received a tax benefit. So it is now illegal for this collection agency to collect on the debt. And if you did it right, You have the document that I told you to store, because now when they attempt to collect on the debt, you can use that as leverage to hold against them, because now they are practicing something that is technically illegal, and you could be awarded. If you file a complaint with the CFPB, you can be awarded up to $1,000 for every month that information was reported on your credit report. So this is information you need to know. Did I just help somebody today? Just tell me in the chat if I just help you with that information, which is why you never want to pay your collection accounts. Here's something else. And let's say you don't know if the debt has been written off. What if that information is missing in that particular line that suggests it has been written off? Because those are ways that they get around it. It is then you're going to search to see if there's any 1099s. Ask your tax preparer to say, hey, can you search out and see if there's any 1099s? And what happens is, by law, they're supposed to send that information to you by mail. And in that, it simply states that we're releasing you from the obligation of that debt. Did I help somebody today? I hope I'm not speaking over your head. I'm trying to give you as much as I can about how you can legally repair your credit without filing false claims of identity theft, by saying that it's not yours, and all of this, all of these tactics that are used. And these are tactics that really can get you in trouble. And this is what I'm probably going to move into, things that you do not want to do when you're repairing your credit. The first thing you want to do is you do not want to say in writing that you are a victim of identity theft if you are really not a victim of identity theft. We have to cut that out, and we've got to stop allowing these agencies to force us into saying what is not true, because what is happening is when you use the term identity theft, you are now authorizing federal authorities to get involved in your case to hunt down whether or not there's any fraud that has taken place. And when the books settle, this can create a problem for you. Now, let me help you today. If you truly are an individual and you have dealt with identity theft, let me help you and tell you what you can do. Number one, you don't have to pay anybody to help you clean your credit report up. There are laws and protective measures that are in place. There is even a whole website. As a matter of fact, let me just take you all there. There's an entire website that you can go to request for this information to be reported. Matter of fact, let me just take you there. All right, let me just take y'all there. I'm trying to help you on this stuff today. All right, let's go there. Let's see. Hope I'm helping y'all today. All right, I'm going to take you there. I'm going to share my screen. All right, I'm going to share my screen. Do me a favor. Make sure y'all hit the share button. I'm giving y'all some game tonight. Don't like to use the word game, but that's what I'm doing today, is I'm giving you the game on credit repair. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. So give me just a second while I do that. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I had to take care of a little business. All right. So for those of you who are dealing with identity theft, I want to help you today. All right. And I want you to take a note of the web address. It says identitytheft.gov. Identitytheft.gov. This is a site that is in place for those of you who are victims of identity theft. You don't have to pay anybody to help you deal with your issue if someone has taken your information illegally and used it. Okay, this website is in place. What takes place is you simply go here, you get started, and you just go through and answer these questions. Someone used my information to file unemployment insurance. Someone filed a tax return. I want another report, a different type of identity theft. Someone has my information or tried to use it, or my information was even exposed in the data breach. And there was a data breach that took place with Equifax several years ago. And believe it or not, I'm going to say if you line up 10 people, 9 of those individuals' information was exposed in the data breach. Okay. And so let's say your information was exposed in a data breach. You click that, look at this. It tells you Equifax, Marriott, or a breach not listed here. Let's go with Equifax. And let's say we click this button here. Now you go through here and you check the boxes of what has taken place. If someone has opened up a credit card account, and these are all the counts that are once again, fraudulently or illegally reporting on your credit report. Only use this site if you are truly a victim of identity theft. Let me say this again. Only use this site if you are truly a victim of identity theft. If someone has opened up a utility bill or a cell phone bill, basically what you're doing is you're identifying every issue that is actively reporting on your credit report illegally, or it's not yours. When you use, let's just say we go with those two things. Now you got to go and ask how the information was misused. It was misused to open up a credit card account. Now what's going to take place is I'm going to go to next. And what happens is I now got to file the official claim. Now it's wanting me to actually put all of the information here. And this is information that you're going to get from your credit report. And when at the end of the day, and I'm not going to go through this because I don't have anybody that's a victim of identity theft. But unfortunately, unfortunately, a lot of people are using this as a tactic to repair individuals' credit, not knowing that this is going to create a problem in the long run. So I'm kind of exposing some of the tactics that are being used. And let me use the term novice in the industry. It is being used by novice in the industry, and they're charging you thousands of dollars to do what I just showed you to do, that you can do on your own. But once again, you should only be using this site if you really are a victim of identity theft. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen at that point, and hopefully this information just helped you. Okay, now with the FTC, if you're going to invite the FTC into the equation, just know that you're inviting legal authorities or federal authorities to come in. And what will happen is when you go through all of the steps, put in the account numbers and things of that nature, then what's going to happen is going to give you a report ID or FTC ID. What you do from there is you take that information. You then need to, if you really, once again, this is just for those of us who are victims of identity theft. Once again, you should then not have a problem with calling your local police department and admitting and letting them know that your information was used illegally, and you need to file a police report. Once you file that police report, you combine the ID theft report along with the police report. You stick it in the mail, send it to all of the credit bureaus. And what should happen is you're going to get a response that these items have either been frozen on your credit report or they have actually been deleted. And you want to know that what happens is when Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion receive this data or this information by law, they are technically required to freeze that information until they find out or further investigate. And this is some of what the novices are doing, is they're using this tactic to do a freeze on your credit report. And then what happens is 3 or 4 months later, you come back and you've applied for credit, you've gotten all what you needed to get. This stuff comes back on your credit report, but now you've also compounded issues, because then now if you want to try to go through and remove this stuff the legal way is going to be quite difficult for it, because now your file has been flagged with the credit reporting agencies indicating that you're utilizing frivolous practices to improve your credit rating. So you really want to be careful with that. All right. What I just explained to you was a process that someone can use who's actually a victim of identity theft. If you are a victim of identity theft, I just told you what you can do. You can go to FTC, federal identitytheft.gov, and then file an FTC complaint. And from there, you should be good to go. All right. I just gave y'all the hookup in reference to that. Okay. Hope that information helped you. Let's talk about some disputing. Okay. Now, there is a difference between dispute-based credit repair and compliance-based credit repair. Now, I only support and do compliance-based credit repair. I am in no way arguing there's something wrong with dispute-based credit repair. It's just not something that our agency do. We actually believe that dispute-based credit repair, in my honest opinion, it's almost like a waste of time, because the bureaus are hip to it. And when you start writing dispute letters, and by law, you can legally write as many dispute letters as you want to write. By law, you can do that. But here's the thing, when you're writing dispute letters, I often tell people, if you're going to go down the lane of disputing your credit report, some things that you don't want to do. Number one, you do not want to do them on the website of Equifax.com, Experian.com. Neither do you want to do it through TransUnion.com. Neither do you want to do it through any third-party websites. Why is that? Is when you dispute stuff through these portals or website portals, you are actually waiving rights that you have as a consumer, because you're coming onto their portal and challenging things that are on your credit report. So what I like to tell people is, if you're going to go down the lane of writing dispute letters, only do it the old school way, which is by mail. Do it by mail. I know we're in a day now of the microwave society. Everything has to happen quick overnight. Let me tell you something. When it comes to your credit report, you cannot have that mindset. You got to let patience have her perfect work. Come on and say amen. You got to let patience have her perfect work. And the best way to let patience have her work when it's in reference to your credit report is for you to do it the old school way, which is you got to send it by mail. Now, here's the thing. When you do it by mail, you want to make sure that you do it through a tracking receipt, where you go to the post office or whatever process or wherever, how you send off your mail, but you want to receive something back by mail indicating that it has been stamped by the three major credit bureaus, so that you can hold them liable for responding within a certain time frame. Now, the law says that they have 30 days to respond, but because of COVID and the pandemic, and because a lot of their centers, and believe it or not, they just kind of use the pandemic for their advantage, but a lot of their centers are in the Philippines. And then if you're dealing with any kind of identity theft crisis, I believe TransUnion is up in Pennsylvania, but not most of these centers are overseas. They're not even here within the states. Okay. And so, which is why when you call, you get someone with a foreign voice, it's because 90%, if not, that may be a stretch, I'm going to say maybe 80% of the customer support with these three major credit reporting agencies is through someone in a third world country like the Philippines and things of that nature. As a matter of fact, I have staff that work for me in the Philippines because of the cost of wages is so much less than what it is here in the States. And so what you want to do is, when you're sending this by mail, you want to make sure that you get a return receipt. When you get a return receipt, you can hold them hostage to the date of when it was stamped. So you do not want to use any of the web. I know they're encouraging you to go to the website, but what happens is, when you go through Experian.com, Equifax, or TransUnion, you sign a waiver. As a matter of fact, there's a button that you click that says that I waive my right. What is the right that you, the right that you're waiving? Look, got tripped up on the W, the right and the right. But what right am I waiving? It is the right to challenge the verification process. This is critical. Most people quit with credit repair after they receive it's been verified. Come on, just lift your hand or give me an emoji or something if I'm telling the truth. Most people quit with repairing their credit or improving their credit when they receive something that says the item has been verified, when the truth is the game just began. The game just began. But check this out. If you don't know what to ask for, then you find yourself frustrated with the process. You find yourself intimidated with the process, and you just throw in the towel. My objective today, why I'm exposing credit repair secrets, is because most deletions really don't happen with the first letter. Most deletions happen when you go and challenge the verification process. So I'm getting ready to help you. I'm getting ready to show you a letter that I have used. Okay. A letter that I have used in the past when we were doing dispute-based credit repair. When our agency was doing dispute-based credit repair, which is many, many years ago, we don't now do dispute-based credit repair. We're focused more so on compliance-based credit repair. But once again, I'm not here to talk to you about how amazing our agency is. I'm here to empower you to do this for yourself for free. But if you're someone who is frustrated with the process, if you just hang on in there, I've got a product offering that I want to give you at the end of our time of training today. All right. So just hang in there with me. But let me show you a letter that has worked. This is a letter that has worked. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen once again, and I'm going to show you a letter that has worked. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's get it. All right. So this is a validation request letter. Okay. And I'm going to move fairly quickly with it. Okay. I'm just going to go here. Okay. And just because I don't want to give all the stuff away. All right. But here is your response, a response that we use. And you're going to be amazed at the number of people who have written back saying, thank you, Pastor Ken. The letter you gave me worked. It is because, once again, when a debt has been sold to a collection agency, many of them cannot produce original documents with your signatures. All they have is electronic data or information you have given them over the phone. So here's some things that I asked for. I asked for complete payment history. I asked for date of last activity. I asked for a full, complete, and comprehensive information on social security number, agreement that bears my signature, the obligation between you and I, proof of identification. I need you to show me that this was debt that I committed to. Then I need you to give me a letter of sale or assignment from the original creditor to your company. Why is this piece of document important? Let me just get to the screen. Why is this document important? This document is important is because now I'm getting ready to get Chase in trouble for selling you debt that they should not sold in the first place, because it was illegal for them to collect on the debt in the first place. Why? If y'all been rocking with me, it's because they received a tax they received a tax benefit, which then canceled out the contractual obligation to the debt. That is a letter that we have used. It works, it works, it works, it works. And so if you're someone who is saying, listen, Pastor Ken, this is something I want to do on my own, I'm going to give you a link. As a matter of fact, I'm going to drop it in the chat here, a link that you can go to and watch the free webinar that I'm giving on training. And you can just look at that there. It's a free link for training there that you can go to. And it's there that I give you information. And then at the end, if you're interested, it's some letters that I've used over the last 20 years that have worked that you can download, pay up, I think a fee of less than $100, and it's yours, and you can do the stuff for free. Okay. All right. Now, for those of you, if you say, now I've given you a little bit of information today, I know it's been a lot that we have gone through. I've covered identity theft. I've covered how to address some collection agencies. I've covered my initial disclaimer of the importance of why credit repair is legal. It is not illegal for you to repair your credit. Okay. Here's the thing, as we come close to a close, is that I only support legal and ethical credit repair. Credit repair should not be used as a means for you to escape your financial obligations. You bear responsibility to pay who you owe. This service is really provided for those of us who have at some point in our life made some prior financial mistakes, and we just want to get our name restored. That's why I'm here for. I'm not here to abuse the financial systems. I'm not here to, because you'll be amazed at the inboxes, the comments, and the shade that gets thrown in my direction because of this industry. And it's because a lot of people are choosing to use this method and this industry for the wrong reason. They're using it for their own personal gain. But I just think, feel it is necessary for me to just help you understand that I'm not in this business to take advantage of anybody. I'm in this business to help people restore their name and get back on track. Now, let me throw some free stuff out there at you, and then we're going to close from there. For those of you, if you have tried to repair your credit on your own and you are stuck, like you just ain't now. Although I've given you as much, I've given you a whole lot this evening. I've given you a whole lot this evening, and you're like, man, this takes more than what I actually anticipated. What I'm going to do is I actually invested in creating an online portal that does credit repair for you for free. I think y'all missed that. Let me say it again. Let me wind up again. For those of you who are trying to repair your credit on your own, you're frustrated. I've created a service where you can do it yourself for free, and it's all automated. Okay. What I'm going to do is share my screen again, and I'm going to take you to a website that you can go to. And it's at this website that you'll be able to, repair your credit. The only thing you need to do, it's the only thing, and this is between you and the credit monitoring service, is you need to order your credit reports. As long as you keep your get your credit reports imported into the system is now going to take the imported credit report and then identify to you all the negative stuff. And all you do is go through, choose a reason. The system then produces one of the letters that will work. You stick it in the mail, you wait for your response, you come back to the system will then tell you what to say next. Listen, guys, I'm trying to give as much away as possible. Once again, myself and my partner, we're only in this industry because it's for people who just don't have the time, the energy, the headspace, nor the capacity, or better yet, they're just frustrated and overwhelmed with the process. So they're over it already. All right. So that's why we are in business. All right. So I want to just try to share with you guys and help you as much as I can. So let me show you this website real quickly. If you look at the top there, it's freedispute.impastorken.com. You might want to write that down. freedispute.impastorken.com. freedispute.impastorken.com. Listen, you don't have to spend a dime. It's absolutely free. Why am I giving it away for free? It's because the Bible says, blessed, it is better to give than it is to receive. Praise God. Our businesses are blessed because of our generosity. Okay. And so how it works, let's just go here. The system, basically, you sign up. Step 2, you order your credit report. Step 3, you select the items that you want to dispute. Step 4, sit back and relax. Step 5, you wait for your results. Step 6, you repeat. Step 7, you build your credit. There's some build your credit offerings there that are here that you can build your credit report, even report your rent on your credit report, because trade lines are just as important as removing old information. And I'll come back and talk about that. But for the sake of time, I just don't have it today. But I'm trying to give you as much as I can on today to help you realize that we're here to help serve you as much as we can. Now, I started this discussion with helping or explaining that I had a special product offering that my business partner and I made a decision that we were going to offer. And so I want to go over that with you on this afternoon. And then from there, we're going to let you guys go and enjoy your day. I hope the information that has been provided has really been a great help to you guys. We're here today not to take, but we're here to give. If you have questions while I'm getting ready to put up the product offering, go ahead and drop your questions right now. Go ahead and drop your questions right now. And I'll wait a few minutes because I know there is a delay. And so I'll wait about 30 seconds to 45 seconds. And then from there, I'll go ahead and drop the product offering. But let me just give you a little bit about the agency that I'm a co-founder of, which is Phoenix Advisors Corp. Our agency, we are not a dispute company. We do not write dispute letters. We are an attack-based credit repair service. We focus on attacking things via compliance. Believe it or not, there are certain rules and regulations that are in place that explains how an item should be formatted on your credit report. Let me say that again. There are regs in place that discuss how items are to be formatted on your credit report. This was created by the credit reporting agencies. They came out with the format. I like to connected to how I remember, I don't know when they now teach you how to write, but I know somewhere around the second or third grade, they taught you how to write a letter. And it would say, at the top left, you got the address, and then you have who it's being addressed to. And then you go into, writing to whom it may concern. And then you have the body. I want you to know that there's something similar to that when it comes to your credit reports, that there is actually formatting rules that are in place. And when something is on your credit report that does not meet the formatting rule, by law, it must be deleted. It's not really a question of whether or not the debt's been written off. It's not really a question of whether or not it's legally debt that belongs to you. It's not really a question of whether or not the balance is correct on what's reporting. It's really a question of the item and how it is formatted. This is the secret. And let me say something to you guys. If you line up about 20 credit repair agencies, I would venture off to say probably 18 of them do dispute-based credit repair. This is not for the novice. You have to be that of a surgeon to understand formatting and the various nuances of how formatting credit repair takes place. And so, which is why we boldly say that we don't do dispute letters. We're so bold, we'll even show you the letters that the attacks that we issue out, and how we're able to get those items removed from the credit report and identify what those formatting errors are. And we use that as leverage for the item to be removed off the credit report. Once again, if just in case you missed it, why would they remove it if it doesn't meet the formatting reg? It's because for every infraction, for every month that an item is reported on your credit report that does not follow the formatting reg, you could be awarded $1,000 for each month it was reported on your credit report. And what most agencies end up doing is they just end up deleting the debt, or they'll get a little salty and try to sell it off to another credit reporting agency or another collection agency. And at that moment, you got to address it with them. Okay. And so that's a little bit about our agency. Okay. Now, let me just share with you guys now, typically, I tell people, I do coaching calls and interviews all the time with those who are signing up for our services. And once again, we are graduating about 100 people from our program. We've got about 100 people who are graduating from our program this month, and we have a support staff, and we assign you relationship managers. You get to monitor your accounts 24/7, 365. We're not a mom and pop shop. I like to say that we do business with integrity, coupled with the fact that I pastor a church, and so I live by the tenets of my faith, my core convictions, and it spills out into my business practices. But typically, we're not a cheap or inexpensive agency. The saying holds true: you pay for what you get. For everything that we offer, we're just a premier agency, and we're unapologetic about it. But God's been good to us, and so we're doing something we have never done before. Now, what I like to say to people, this product offering is for those of you who have watched us. You've maybe received some of our emails, and maybe you've done a coaching call. And so, when you had that conversation with me, you were like, man, I really want to hire Ken and his agency, but I just cannot afford it. This is for you. This is not for those of you who are skeptical and you need a coaching call and all of that, because believe it or not, if you have to schedule a call with me, it is going to be a little bit more expensive, because once again, time is something I do not get back. And with this product offering, we just released it on yesterday, and we're already being inundated with people who are interested in the program. So I have to be very selective with my time. But for those of you who trust me, and you don't have to second guess our integrity, this is for you. All right. So what we're doing is we're doing something we have never done before in the history of our agency. We're offering for a very, very limited time $149 setup with only $99 a month. Okay. Now, here's the thing. That's no appointment required. If you decide that you need an appointment, please understand that your setup fee is going to be $247. Why? Because I've got to give you the time. Listen, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just being honest. My time is very, very limited. This product offering, this special, is for those who have tried it on their own and frustrated. This product offering is for those who are just over it already. Like, I'm sick and tired of it. I'm tired of this low credit score. I trust Ken and this agency. I know they deliver the goods. If you're that person, I am talking to you. $149 one-time setup fee and $99 a month. You will be billed 30 days later. And what I like to say, you're not paying for credit repair. You're paying for the administrative costs involved. Once you get a chance to see what all comes with this, you're going to be like, man, I got a good deal. The only ask that we have of you is that you are responsible for ordering your credit reports. That's not free. That's not a part of the $99. There's no way we can pay our staff and do all that's required and mail your stuff off and, the stuff that's required. It's expensive. If I gave you our printing bill, you would be shocked by what we spend for an average client. Okay. So we got to make it fit and work for what we've got going on. And we're hoping that a large number of individuals would be interested. That way it could drive down the cost of our services and we can be competitive. So we're going to test this out to see if it works. If it works, we're going to keep it the way that it is. Okay. I hope this you just got blessed. So all you got to do, let me show you, what are they supposed to do? I don't know. Drop in the chat, number one, if you're interested in signing up. I'm going to drop a link in the chat that you can use to sign up. Okay. It's just no questions asked. If you need an appointment, I'm willing to have the conversation with you, but I've got to charge you for an audit phone conversation. When we have the audit phone conversation, just know that you're signed up. We'll still offer you the special rate of $99 a month, but just know that the audit is going to be an additional $100. Therefore, you're going to have to pay that audit fee. Okay. I know that was kind of choppy, that little link that I just sent you guys. Let me see if I can find me a bit.ly link. Hold on one second. So it's not so choppy. All right. And then that's it, guys. I hope this information helped you. I stretched my faith a little bit and put this link on or provided this. So I hope I provided some information and data that has been useful for you guys. And you're like, man, this was good stuff. If so, just encourage me in the chat, and I'm going to do my best to try to come back and do something similar to this at least once a week. All right. Okay, guys, I'm out of time. Got to go spend some time with my family, prepare for the weekend. I pray the information that has been provided today was a blessing to you. Thank you for blessing me with your time and your presence on today. There's a special for a limited time offer. Once again, $149 setup fee, $99 a month. If you have questions, go ahead and DM me, and I'll be able to I'll do my best to take your calls while you're there. Be blessed. Have a great day.